Okay, and we are live. Welcome to the BrainDrive weekly dev call live stream. We do these calls every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm Dave Waring and I handle the operations. Whoop. Welcome to the BrainDrive. Just pause that or actually mute my live stream there so you can not hear me twice. But I'm Dave Waring and I handle the operations side here at BrainDrive. Dave Jones, who handles the technical side of the house, is on the road today, so I'll be flying solo on this one, which will probably make it a short call since this is the weekly dev call update. But I do have some good updates for you. And before we jump in, our mission here at BrainDrive is to build a superior user-owned alternative to big tech AI systems. As I said, we do these calls every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and then the recordings are posted in the afternoon once they're done processing over on our community at community.braindrive.ai. So if you haven't already, I encourage you to join the live streams, to participate, and to join the community, to join us in building the movement away from big tech AI systems and towards user AI owned AI systems that we all benefit from. All right, so let's jump in here today with the agenda. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so just a quick overview of our roadmap. Of course, that's now been moved to docs.braindrive.ai. And we have a five-phase roadmap. The first phase, phase zero, was selecting our license, and we are all about ownership, freedom, empowerment, and sustainability. So, of course, we have the most permission license for the BrainDrive core software and any default plugins that are included with that download. That's an MIT license for your full ownership, freedom, and control. The phase one, which we're wrapping up this week, is our foundation. And this is being able to easily install for developers on Linux, Windows, and Mac and have a clean first chat, tell me a joke experience. We've got that now. So we are about to move into phase two, which is our developer beta release. And in this, we're going to work on an enhanced persona system and building on top of the BrainDrive platform. So this, we move from the foundation, which gives you the ownership, to phase two, which is building on top of the empowerment and ability and freedom to build on top of. Then we'll move to our developer release where we're polishing up all the code and everything and getting ready for our version one release, which is phase four. And this will be a big step in moving towards our ultimate vision of everyone owning, controlling, and benefiting from their own AI systems. We envision these AI systems, these user-owned AI systems, being as popular as the personal computer. Everyone will have their own personal AI system and will benefit from the value that they create on their system instead of all that value just accruing to big tech. So that'll be a big release for us. And then after that, it's all about community acceleration. If we really want to build a superior alternative to big tech AI systems, it is going to take the community. And the good news is there's a lot more talent and capital outside of the big tech companies than there is within them. So if we just are able to have a platform that's open source, user owned, that we can all come together and build on top of and build ecosystems and economies on top of, I think we can really accelerate and not only make up the gap between the open source community currently and the big tech AI systems, but far exceed them. So that's our five phase, with phase zero being the six, I guess, on choosing the license roadmap. And if you'd like to join us, joining these calls is a great way to do that. Join the community. There's links to our GitHub here and these live streams. So that's just a quick overview of our roadmap. And then we also have our five phase project board. This is our GitHub project board that is aligned to those phases. As I said, we are moving out of phase one. The last thing here was the encryption key not working on Mac, and that is now done. So we can mark that off. Dave completed that last week, so I love marking these off. And that's also the last to do item that moves us from our phase one to phase two. Now we're into our developer release. So Dave is working on moving Olama to a separate plugin. Currently, the Olama plugin, which is how our first way that we run local AI models within the BrainDrive system, is part of the settings plugin. So separating that Olama plugin out, so that that can be removed, or you can use another local model runner as people build plugins for those. Llama CPP is a popular one, but there's a lot of other ones, VLLM, etc. We want to give BrainDrive owners the freedom and ability to run whatever model runner they want within their BrainDrive. So Dave said this is ready on Friday, but since he's going to be traveling, he decided to wait to release that. So that's likely done, and we'll test that and make sure it's all working on all across my operating systems and everything this week, and we'll mark that off the the to-do list there. So that's the first big to-do item on the phase two roadmap. And from my side, um, I've been working on the new BrainDrive website, so we now have that up and running. I'm trying to keep things, very basic and clean here to help people get up and running very quickly. So just, install BrainDrive, join the community is the big thing here. This is hopefully, going to give people just a quick snapshot of what BrainDrive is and, get them up and running on BrainDrive. And then once you're ready to dig into things, this is our docs.braindrive.ai side of the website, which is designed to take you from installing BrainDrive to using plugins within your BrainDrive to building your own plugins. So, this documentation on all the software that Dave has been building is coming together very nicely, and we have this nice owner's manual now to help people get up and running on their BrainDrives very quickly. So that's all organized and nice now, and we're going to be adding to this website extensively all of our repos that we're working on within BrainDrive, within the BrainDrive GitHub. The documentation will be organized here. And then we, of course, have our community.braindrive.ai, where BrainDrive owners can come together to connect and learn together and focus on building out their BrainDrives and, as a result, the future of user-owned AI. So that's coming together now, and we're just going to continue to polish and make these better and better over time. So that's the big updates from last week. Let me just see if there's anything else on our done list here. I need to put dates on these because right now it's just sort of a running list, but we'll just run down it briefly. Let's see. Bum. Yeah, thinking tags was knocked out last week. So they're working now. Searchable dropdowns are there. We've got the owner's manual plugin overview. Oh, I refreshed the plugin dev quick start images last week. So that's here on the doc site. We now have the build plugins, and we've got the latest screenshots since Dave's polished everything up, and those are looking good there. Okay. Encryption key we talked about. Scroll watch chat, this is all done from previous weeks. We've got the contributor file. I can't remember, to be honest with you, if I did that last week or the week before, but we have a nice roadmap aligned contributing file to get people who want to start building on the BrainDrive platform up and running as quickly as possible. So that's done. And yep, all the docs are now updating. So when I make an update, to the GitHub, we, on our docs site GitHub and our website GitHub, it automatically gets pushed to the live site. So there's no manual work in there. And docs has been the docs site, which was on the GitHub link, is now moved over. So we're hosting that ourselves and own and control all that. So all that work is done. So the big thing in terms of major items from last week, from a big picture standpoint. A couple other things here. Sorry, on the tech side, for Navaneeth on the BrainDrive Model Match project, which is helping you choose the best AI model, open source AI model to use for your specific use case. We now have all of our use case videos done. So he's putting together a landing page for the website so we can have something to send people to that make sure that people are able to use the information and the recommendation that he's providing to choose the best model as quickly and efficiently as possible. And the final step here is he's doing a full in-depth overview of the full evaluation system so people can, number one, understand how we've come up with these recommendations. But just as importantly, this evaluation system is also MIT licensed. And so hopefully other BrainDrive community or just general open source AI community members will help us hack away on that and use that to do their own recommendations and add use cases, etc. So that's exciting. And I'm talking to Navneet right after this call at 11. So we'll hopefully have this to show next week's call. And Beck posted on the forum over the weekend that the Chat with Documents plugin, which allows you to upload collections of documents to BrainDrive um, and ground the context of the chat in those documents, like the projects functionality within ChatGPT and Claude. He was in the process of separating out the chat and the conversation history so that they were separate modules and they worked off of the existing models that you have in your BrainDrive and the existing conversation history functionality that we have in BrainDrive. So he posted in the forum over the weekend that all that's done. So I have a call with him at 12 to run through all that. And we should also be able to show that next week. So we have a lot of our long running, checking off our phase 1 foundation from last week's really exciting. The model match is ready to go live after this week, likely, and also Chat with Documents should be close on the heels of that. So we have a lot of the projects that we've been working on for many months now, sort of all coming together at once, which is really exciting. Um, Okay, and for the coming week, we're gonna continue working on phase 2, and I think that once Dave has resolved or not resolved, has moved the Olama Olama settings to its own plugin from the general site settings. I think the next thing is really getting the RAG system working with Chat with Documents. So, Beck's been kind of running with that on his own while Dave finished up all of the foundational items that we wanted to finish. And now I think Dave Jones as the system creator really needs to look through all that and help Beck and I really polish that and take it to the level of or even beyond what ChatGPT and Claude are offering with their projects functionality. And this, is really going to allow BrainDrive to start being that expert that helps you with information that you probably don't want to feed to a big tech AI system like ChatGPT, things like your financial data, things like your health data, the ability to keep all that data private on your own computer and to run open source AI models on it without having to even connect to the internet. So, as long as no one has access to your computer, that's all private and secure is a really big deal. So, I think that's going to be sort of our first big leap towards, owning and controlling your own AI system in a way that's really, really beneficial. The first step is just being able to have that chat, which is really cool. But really, the next level is now I can chat with an AI on my documentation and my information while keeping that 100% private. And that is a big deal versus sending that information out over APIs to the chat GPTs of the world. Although, when you don't care about privacy, because we now have the Open Router plugin as well, if you want to activate that, then you can use whatever of the top closed source models that you want. And then with the page functionality within BrainDrive, you can separate those things out. So you only have your private information on a page that only runs local source models, and anything that you don't care about privacy for, you can run those API-based models for those use cases. All right, so let's see here. Um, So yes, and then from my side, I really need to get so for Dave's side, really starting to dig into that chat with documents functionality with Beck and make sure that's to the level that we want it to be. See where we're at with that. See what we need to improve on that. See what he needs to do versus what he wants Beck to do. I think that'll be a major focus for this week. And then for me, now that we've got the BrainDrive core documentation all cleaned up, all updating on the doc site, etc. I now want to move on to all the default plugins and example plugins that we have and start cleaning up that documentation so we're all ready to go. And then that's kind of the final piece, I think, from my side in terms of what I need to be doing now that Dave has got the system and technical foundation strong to make sure that we are professional and clean and up to date on our documentation side. And then I think we're ready to put this out there. We're ready to do our developer beta release, get it out there. We've got some bugs and everything that we know about, like some things with the responsiveness, et cetera, that we can start working through. But I think we have enough to show people now the vision, get them involved on that, and start building a community that sees the vision for everyone owning, controlling, and benefiting from their own AI system, and gets that while we're early in this, BrainDrive really offers the foundation and open architecture that allows everyone to build on top of this and really develop a superior alternative to these big tech AI systems. Um, so those are the big things that we're working on this week. From a big picture perspective, Dave and I spent a lot of time last week. We are actually able to meet. He was on this road trip that he's on, going to a wedding. The reason why he's out today. We were able to meet up and on his way down, and that's the first time we've met after working together for almost a year. So that was great to be able to meet him in person. And we've also begun talking about, you know, the direction that we want to go next in terms of this phase two. I've got a new computer. It looks like I'm adjusting. I'll have to figure out why that's happening and fix that. But you really start to talk about what we want to do with this phase two role play, where people can use the persona system that we've built within BrainDrive to have a custom system prompt where they're going to be able to use the RAG system and the chat with documents functionality that Beck's been working on and now that Dave's going to be working on to have these really custom tailored experiences. And initially out of the gate, I think there's two directions that we can go. There's the what we were referring to as the fiction route where people can chat with characters, and this is where like all the AI girlfriend stuff and all that type of stuff sits. Or we can go the nonfiction route, which is people using this to, for example, be their health coach, upload all their health data to, blood work, get a second opinion on, in addition to what they're getting from their health professionals, to act as their personal assistant and a life coach, type of things. So those are similar in terms of really customizing and tailoring the experience for people, but the technology that we need is a little different. If we're going the fiction route, we need an engine, a role-playing engine that allows you to really customize the experience in terms of fonts and imagery and really bringing to life these fiction characters. And it's really and also tailoring the persona prompt to really have a lot of personality, and really feel like you're talking to, for example, if you want to talk to Batman from Batman Begins, like really feel like you're talking to and chatting with Batman. And there's a lot of this in character AI, and there's a lot, within the open source community of people that really enjoy this and developers that like this. And, there really isn't a great option that really gives you the professional experience that we think we can offer with BrainDrive and developing those experiences. And there's a lot of interest in that. So, and the people get, I think, that are doing the fiction role playing experiences, the advantages of having that be local, having it be private, and having it be completely under your control. So no one's updating the models and changing the personality of this character that you've been chatting with, for the last 6 months and perhaps have built a relationship with. So that's one direction that we can go. Um, The other direction is like we just talked about on the nonfiction side. And, the beautiful thing about BrainDrive is whatever we decide to do, Dave and I decide to focus our time on, there's no reason that other people can't focus their time on building out, whatever we're not focusing on or helping us focus on the things that we're focusing on. It's, the only limit is your imagination is our goal here. And you're free to build whatever you want on BrainDrive in a very permissionless, you build it, it's on your GitHub, you install it. We wouldn't even know unless you tell us, what you've built and installed on your brain drive. So, but we've decided to focus on the nonfiction route initially. And again, we'd love to focus on both, but as limited resources, we really need to be careful about what we're focused on. And we really think this nonfiction route and the chat with document slash RAG functionality and doing that on a local basis is more in line with building out this superior user-owned AI system. It takes us further in the direction of being a real competitor to the Chat GPTs and Claudes of the world. Even though we think we could build an amazing fiction role-playing experience on BrainDrive, and we hope people do that, and we may do it in the future. It's not as directly on the path towards building a superior user-owned AI system to these big tech systems as this RAG functionality. And when we think about the five components of an AI system, the interface, the models that you're using it, the intelligence, in other words, the memory, the hosting, where does that system live, and the connections and keeping ownership and control over all five of those things. We're building out the interface, and there's other options for people that don't like BrainDrive. There's tons of open source models that you can run locally on your own computer, which is the hosting for these systems. You can host it on your own computer. MCP is a great protocol for the connections that will allow us to maintain ownership and control of the connections in our AI system. The one big piece that's missing is that memory piece. There's a lot of work being done on this, and we want to join that fight to make sure that the open source community wins the memory fight. And we're really excited and have been exploring a lot of the memory space, and we're building in that space already. So that's why we've chosen to go that nonfiction route. And we'll have more for you on that in the forums. I'll be posting the conversations that Dave and I are having around this, so you can follow that. Next week, when Dave's back, we'll have a more extensive conversation here in the live stream. And anybody who wants to join that live stream and voice their opinions and thoughts on this, we'd love to have you. So I think that's the main updates for this week. It's definitely a more interesting experience to do these by yourself, and makes me happy that I have Dave as a partner in crime on all this stuff, because it's a lot more fun when he's here, and we'll miss him. But I'm glad he was able to get away and refresh and attend a family event, which is important for us all. And he's given me that flexibility several times as well. So it's good to have a good partner to be able to step in for each other, and he's been that to me. So we'll look forward to having him back next week, and a longer in-depth discussion on this phase two, with him here to probably lead that discussion from the technical side. And as always, our mission here at BrainDrive is to build a superior user-owned alternative to big tech AI systems. We'd love it if you join us on these calls every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, live streamed on YouTube. You can also participate on the recording thread in the forums over at community.braindrive.ai. And with that, we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.